Hi everyone, Robin DeLucia here, founder and career coach for Empower Coaching. I would like to talk to you today about the top 5 career mistakes that you can avoid. And number 1 is don't forget to network, even when you're happy in your job. And I don't mean going to networking events, introducing yourself to strangers. I mean, along the way, as you meet nice people. So you may be at a friend's barbecue, you may be picking up the kids from school, and you come across a nice person. Don't forget to send a LinkedIn invite to them and just say, it was really nice meeting you today. Thanks so much for the chat we had. And those are connections that become so valuable. I just had a person this week that contacted me and he said, I don't know if you remember me from the uni course we did, but I'd like to talk to you. So I love that, and I did remember him. Number 2, don't let leaders talk you into a job you know you will hate. Trust your gut. So I've had times, and other people have shared with me stories where they were coerced into taking on more responsibility, direct reports, things that they weren't comfortable doing, and then they became even more miserable. So have the open conversations with your leaders about where your career aspirations lie, and that this doesn't match that. The next thing is staying in a dead-end job that doesn't relate to your aspirational career. So if you took a job at BP Oil to pay the bills, great, but then now you've got to prove that you were still doing things in your aspirational career that helped you get to finding a new job. So it's almost like you have to work twice as hard to overcome that gap in your career where you took a job at BP Oil rather than doing design or marketing in the field that you studied and that you started out with potentially. So it's harder to respond to that with employers in Australia when they see it's almost like you are your last job. The next thing is I've had a few people that I've come across that have been asked to step up and take more work, but they've never had any structure around with their leader about when will I be compensated for this extra work. So I've heard, several stories. So one leader had to lay off a bunch of staff, figure out how he's going to take on more work within the department with less people. A year later, still hadn't been compensated. I had another lady who worked at a radio station. She took on the whole team of advertising and still hadn't, 18 months later, still hadn't been even given a title change for the role that she was doing. So set the boundaries, have the conversation, go on my website, get the Hays salary benchmarking data, download it to what pay you should be making. Here's the work that you're doing. Set your value, own your value. And it's totally fair to back that conversation up in writing so that you can share it with HR if they need to get involved. But just don't let it go on and on. If the company tells you they're having trouble, they're going to have more of a loss to lose you than and more expense to replace you than if you just stand your ground. And the 5th one is if you've had serious life events happen, like for the 4 Ds, there's death, divorce, disease, disaster. If you had those things happen and your employer didn't handle it well, so, a few days after your loved one died, they asked for a death certificate, or you've had, a partner who's deeply depressed and suicidal, and if they haven't let you go away and work out your family stuff, it's not good. I had one client who said he was in the delivery room and the company, his employer, asked him to take his laptop to his wife's delivery room, and they actually called him while the baby was being delivered. That was it for him. That day, he left. So don't stay at an employer that doesn't treat you and value you as a human. That's it for now. Thanks for watching. Stay safe and healthy. If you want more tips, follow me on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, or jump on my website.